Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 216. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing Saturday. Watched a little MMA. I missed it, but sounds like I didn't really miss a whole lot. So, we have an amazing guest with us tonight, the Cannacrat. We want to say hello and tell us how you are today and where we can find you.
Hey, what's going on, Eagle? First, thanks for having me on. As I told you in the chat in the beginning, I'm absolutely humbled that you would even ask. I was talking to Purple Thumb last week, and he's like, "When you go on an Eagle show?" And I'm like, that's probably a little above my pay grade. Next thing you know, now we're here. So thank you. I appreciate it. I am the Cannacrat. I guess we'll get into where I got my name or how I gave my name a little while, but you can find me on IG at the Cannacrat, or I actually believe it's at the underscore Canna underscore Crat. Same on Cannabis. So welcome everybody. Apologies for I will definitely be nervous here and probably tripping over some words until I get comfortable, but I'm sitting here just trimming up some Bodhi tester nugs here, and let's have a little bit of fun. You got some questions, fire away in chat. I'll try to pay attention to it, and hopefully I don't talk over Eagle too much.
Don't forget your live chat. I went almost most of the show, I'd say 3/4 of the way before I caught I was on live chat last night. It always gets me. It always gets me. So is that what you'll be smoking on tonight? It's what you're trimming up there?
Yeah, you know what? I'll probably have a little bit of this. I have some. I got some Irie Genetics, the Profit up above in my little storage compartment here, and I believe I still have some Family Tree seeds. Mega Babe, I'll probably puff on a little. If you see me doing a dab, that's what I'll be doing a dab of too. I pressed a little bit of that yesterday, just a little. I guess this morning, not yesterday. You? What are you smoking on? I lost you here. I lost sound.
Yeah, that was me. That was me
cool.
and my mute button. It buys me a little bit of bandwidth when I'm not speaking.
I gotcha.
To mute off like that. Yeah, I've got some J1 here from Jack Greenstock, and I've been enjoying that. Really, really enjoying that. And as far as dabbing goes, when it comes time to take a dab, when I actually get into that, man, I'm feeling a little spoiled. I've never actually had a dab rig per se, and neither party is in chat yet, but they're still gonna get their shout out. I was gifted. Kazoo Kush was on the other night, and he did a giveaway for this rig here, and then there was a tie in chat. I don't know what happened. We had two winners, and so Sungrown 707 was one of the winners, and he was the guest for it the next night. And he's like, oh, and he kind of let on the fact that he was going to regift it the next night. Well, I didn't realize he had me in mind when he was saying that.
Right on.
So the next night before the show, he kind of hints on a little bit and asking me if I've got, actually got a rig, because I'm always using this straw here, this thing here. And he's like, you got a rig? And I'm like, no, I actually don't. And he's like, well, that ain't right. That ain't right. We can't have you dabbing on that damn straw all the time. I want you to have that rig. And he's like, I've got like 7 of them laying around. It ain't no big deal. I want you to have it. So it showed up today. And so tonight I'll actually be dabbing like a real dabber today.
Right on.
Like an official dabber here today. So kind of kind of pleased about that. Feel a little spoiled today. Feel a little spoiled.
We don't.
Shout out to Kazoo Sungrown 707 and Kazoo Glassworks. Sorry,
Oh no, that's cool. We
I
don't
didn't
get.
mean to cut
I
you off
I
there,
I
bro.
I bought uh my rig as a flower rig only because I'm in I'm just outside of Chicago. So in case anybody's wondering where I'm at, I'm in Illinois. I'm in a legal state. I'm a legal medical patient. Um, uh, Dabs are few and far between around here, unless obviously you were to go to the dispensary. And prices around here are anything, you know, 55 bucks a gram to 70 bucks a gram, plus tax if you're on the rec side, which is 33% or something. Medical side, you pay, I think you pay like 1% tax or something. But I always had a hard time going to the dispensary and buying, any kind of concentrate when I had a bunch of flour at home. So it was cool once I bought a press and I started pressing my own flour actually very recently. So now I can kind of do dabs whenever I want.
Yeah, it was funny. I can't remember who it was the other day. We were talking about pressing. And they're like, "Yeah, you should get one. I'm sure your patients would really appreciate, some fresh access to some nice rosin like that." I'm like, well, yeah, thank you. Like, I don't offer enough services already. I want to be standing at this press all day pressing flour. I don't. I appreciate it, but I'm not ready for the next phase.
I
uh,
don't need another job.
I'm spread pretty thin as it is. Yeah, I don't know if I've got time for pressing, but I'm sure I'll be regretting them words sometime soon.
Yeah, I think cannabis wise, the best 600 bucks I spent. Just for toys and for something I didn't really need or anything like
So
that.
how long? I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Sorry. Like I said, I have a tendency to talk over people, so if I do, just tell me to shut up.
Oh no, it seems to be like a 20-second delay tonight. I mean,
It's pretty
it
hardcore.
seems to be pretty thick on my end for some reason. That's why I keep like throttling. I keep trying to shut off my mic, trying to, like I said, try to buy a little bit of bandwidth.
Trying
Would it
to
bother you if I actually turned off my camera for a minute? I know.
no, go for it. That's fine. I'm trying to log in on my iPad so I can talk to chat, and I for some reason can't talk or log in. So
There we go. I think I'm up to speed now, sadly. Yeah, I can actually see you moving now, so I think we're in business.
all right on. Hey, what's up, Perp? Hey, I see Perp in chat.
So, are you trying to bring up chat on the YouTube, or are you trying to bring up? There you go.
On my YouTube. I'm not signed in on my iPad. I don't remember what my password is.
Yeah,
So
he's
that's a
awesome.
little.
He wasn't the reason we. He did give me a little bit of a nudge, but I hate to tell you, you were asked for before that. When like a month prior, right around, I think right around every 50 episodes or so, I like to get a general census on who they may want to see coming up next, and you've been on the list more than once. It's just a little
Flattered.
lag on
I'm
my end,
nobody.
being quite honest with you. It was more like purple thumb giving me a friendly reminder.
Right on.
You must be something to somebody because they wanted to see him, my friend.
Quiet here. Oh.
So let's. We might as well try to jump in there. When was your first time with the plant? When did you first smoke?
So yeah, I guess we'll start from the beginning. I was doing a lot of research before once you asked me to come on, so I wanted to make sure I was prepared. So I've gone over the story in my head a few times. um, Actually, I think what you tend to bring up is right around 13, 14, 15, and I think I was right there in between eighth grade and freshman year. It was a summer in between those, and I was outside my parents' house. My buddy Mike P. I remember it. It was hilarious. I didn't smoke cigarettes or anything like that. I had a lot of friends, eighth grade freshman year that smoked cigarettes. So Mike P. smoked cigarettes and but had a bowl with him that day, and asked me if I wanted to take a hit, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. He was actually a freshman already. He was my sister's age, so he was a year older than me. And standing outside, it was like a middle of the day or something. And I just remember like hitting it, and I remember coughing or inhaling or something. And then I don't remember getting a buzz or anything like that. But I remember Mike P freaking out and holy shit, he inhaled, this, that. And that was kind of the start, I guess. But it took a while, or not a while, but it's not like I just dove in feet first at that point. I was I guess freshman, sophomore year high school, I was more of a regular smoker, high school smoker. Get with the guys after work, hang out, or after school. I mean, the friends after school and hang out, go to lunch, get high behind the dumpster behind 7-Eleven. Rasta Justin here too. What's up, man? Great to see you.
Awesome, painted lady. A couple of EO crew members right there. She's a pretty gal. She's a pretty great gal. She's been on the show as well.
Yep, I watched that.
It's awesome, folks. So it sounds pretty on point so far with like the average, yeah, you know, the average story there. I'd like to hear it. I like to hear it myself. So, do
Yeah,
you remember
so
what type of strains you were smoking on?
no, so like I guess what would continue on is kind of like Mike P was always the he was the neighborhood dealer, and he always just had just a sack of whatever they were selling at the time. You could walk up to him in the hall of school. It was pretty funny, and he would always have something in his top pocket. It obviously couldn't have been too dank. I don't really remember how good it was or anything like that. I remember being high in high school. I remember walking back that first time when it hit. That first time you went to lunch, and I remember being high at school for the first time, and it was pretty funny. I'm walking back and like we had off campus lunch, so we were able to leave. And walking back, and I just kind of remember that high setting as I was walking, and just kind of started floating across the front of the school, and just went back and just kind of sat in class like, whoa. So then, from there, like freshman, sophomore year, so like I said, every couple day smoker for the most part, would hang out with the buddies and go smoke. Skate punk kid, 90s skate punk. So
They had
a
to
lot of
expected it.
oh I don't think that they didn't know. I just think it was a look the other way thing at the time. Um, I grew up in not like a pretty nice suburb of Chicago, I guess. Um, but yeah, skate punk, punk music, hip hop music through the '90s, causing trouble in my teenage years. And then didn't really smoke after sophomore year too much. Honestly, I probably smoked 8 times in 15 years after that, something like that. And that's probably being generous. We can fast forward to about 5 years ago when I was starting to have a lot of, I was starting to have more anxiety and sleeping problems. And I guess what would be more to show some like PTSD that would actually now be why I now have my medical card. But I was going to grow one plant. So we'll start to, I guess, now like where we are now and like my career now, or not career, but whatever I'm actually doing now. I was going to grow one plant. I built a space bucket, or actually space bin. I lined the top of it with some just LED lights. I cut a hole in the side, and I used the Honeywell fan that most of us have hanging up in our tents right now. I got a couple hanging up in my tent, and I grew a black or a sugar black rose that a buddy of mine gave me a seed of, and I guess I just decided that one plant was going to be it for me. I wanted to grow, and I wanted to kind of see how it was. I'm not big on calling up a guy and trying to get a bag here and there. Much like a lot of us, I'm a DIY kind of guy. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I know I jumped around there. Had some. I'll get back to what I guess what got me smoking now. I'm sorry. I started having like a lot of sleeping issues. Started taking pretty much like too much NyQuil, too much sleep quill or whatever the Z-Quil to sleep, and I started kind of just realizing that pumping myself through all this pharmaceutical chemicals, not really the path I wanted to go down. I've never been much of going to a doctor and have them give me stuff to make me feel better or anything like that. Called a buddy of mine, bought a bag. I'm like, I'm gonna try smoking again and kind of see what happens. So I started off, kind of would puff before bed, take a puff, just relax, go to bed. And I noticed that it really started to help me sleep quite a bit. From there, obviously the puff before bed turns into the puff after work. The puff after work turns into sit down and smoke a bowl after work. That turns into smoke a bowl before bed. That now turned into full blown pothead, and that's where I guess we can get back to where I started to grow. Like I said, I was going to grow one plant. Built the space bin, grew this scraggly pile of shit, seed-ridden plant of sugar black rose that had no trichomes on it, just nothing. And I tried smoking it. Like I was proud enough that I tried it, and called my buddy who gave me the seed. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Like I don't feel like it gets me high or anything. He's like, doesn't get you high. He's like, let me see it. He comes over and stops by, and he's like, oh yeah, you need to try again. Ditch your bullshit space bin there and go get yourself a tent. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at now. So I think you're muted, or maybe I'm muted. Am I?
How'd you like that sugar black rose? I've heard good things about it. How was your experience with it, other than it being superseded out?
Yeah, obviously I only grew it one time, and
Hopefully I'm not muted. Can you hear me now?
Now, now I got you.
Might be just that bad of a delay.
That's a pretty far lag, I think.
Yeah, I mean to interrupt you. It seems like it's like 30 seconds. It's like super, super long. Should probably just cut my video again.
So yeah, growing out that sugar black rose for the first time, I couldn't even give you an opinion on it only because I grew it so poorly. It wasn't the buddy of mine that gave me the seed, like, he brought over what he was growing, and I'm like, whoa, man, like this isn't mine didn't turn out anywhere near. And I kind of told him what I was doing. And once again, I wasn't putting any science or anything into it really. I thought I figure you plant a seed, throw it in a bucket, throw it in a closet, and grow pot and walk away. Tell it to grow me some pot. And I guess that was probably like 5-ish years ago, and now I'm still growing mids.
Yeah, once you start growing it, she really digs into you. It gives you a whole new aspect on the plant, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm like fully engulfed with the plant now, or as much as my brain lets me learn about it. I try to listen. I listen to something every day, whether Dude Grow for Your Heart podcast, Growcast, something like that, and it has fully engulfed my life. Um, you know, talking about being a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug to me eating better, growing my own vegetables now. Like I said, I hadn't taken so much, or I wasn't big on taking any over the counter drugs or anything like that. So it became my complete body medicine at that point. Um, I actually take it pretty seriously now. It's not just like fuck around and get high every day. It's like truly a medicine, truly a lifestyle, and something that I could say has probably helped save my life. Uh, you know, the path that I could go down, I guess. So that being said, I hey, thanks, Purple Sum. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to keep an eye on the
it's
chat here.
definitely
I'm
has
sorry.
changed. Oh,
Handed lady, scroll through, say hi.
no, go ahead. It's definitely the lag. I'm completely sorry.
So yeah, now I've come across so many really cool people, in the small crews that I guess I hang out with in the small world that we're in. But all the Michigan dudes, you guys that are your guys working at Michigan, Mitten Canico, and Spartan, Michigan, Matt, all those dudes like just killing it on a constant basis over there. I'm so jealous of it all the time. See you guys posting your pictures, and I love your state. Rasta Bob's in there. Hell yeah, man. I might be able to take credit for maybe the first person, I think, allegedly, maybe like my brother or somebody maybe I know, maybe brought some Irie genetics down to Jamaica a few years ago and got those in Rasta Bob's hand. That was one of the I guess more scarier things I did in my life, and it was kind of fun. That's the mischief side of me, I guess. And I guess that's probably a lot of us anyways doing what we do. But that was kind of neat. people like yeah, I shout out Rasta Jeff earlier. Obviously, I'm wearing an Irie Army shirt. Have grown a bunch of his genetics. I kind of hoard some of his seeds every once in a while. Get some extra cash in my pocket and just decide I'm going to buy some seeds. And now they sit in my closet, or I give them away as gifts to people as much as I can. I never realized how much a pack of seeds could mean to somebody. Like it never seemed. I was never scared to like order seeds through the mail or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's only a seed, contains no, drug or anything like that. So once I started ordering seeds and got comfortable, just kind of having them delivered. Once I realized, you see people being like, "Oh man, I wish I could have that." So a few times, I have posted a picture of some seeds that I've gotten, and people like Rasta Jeff and Tyler Family Tree. Just so cool when you make an order and they just send you this load of stuff, and it's like, well, I got to share this with other people too. So anytime, I always try to hand out some seeds to people. So I'm going to stop rambling for a couple of minutes. I guess I got some questions for you too, as a caretaker and like somebody that I think that you kind of do this maybe for a living or whatever, but I always see your garden. I don't know how you guys keep up with so many plants sometimes.
Oh, it can be a task sometimes, but it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's a labor of love for sure. And you're right about the Zyre genetics, man. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Shout out to you, Rasta Jeff, kicking some butt in that cannabis community.
Yeah, he was.
So, which one is one of your favorites from old Rasta Jeff there?
I had a run of profit that I did. I still have like just a couple little nugs left of my last run of it. Um, reeks of lemons now. And I ran this plant 5 times, and the third time I ran this plant, I absolutely nailed. Well, I feel like I nailed it on that particular run. I would say that's probably my favorite so far, only because from him, only because the one time that third time that I grew it in a living soil, third round, I just nailed it, and it tasted so good. So like that was always my go back to, just because I did a good job on it for me. So Scarlet Begonias, though, I ran at his and I really enjoyed that too. Um, Man, I've probably killed more seeds though than I've grown. I always have a problem getting starts going, I think. I was I was watching a show the other day, and Tyler from Family Tree Seeds was on it, and he was going back to my first order from him. I was in the chat, and he's like, "Yeah, and I think you ordered the Orchard Lady," and he was talking about the Hubble, his line to the Hubble, and he's like, "Yeah, and I don't know if you ever grew those Orchard Lady." Well, Tyler, the truth is, I killed those seeds, unfortunately. So apologies. I tried.
What do you think is the problem with starting seeds?
Oh, that's just a me problem. I think particularly environment, I guess, is probably my biggest holdback. I'm still in a basement in a corner. I try to keep as much environmental controls as I can in my current situation. So that's always my problem, I think, is starting.
I actually love popping me some beans myself. Love it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't take too many clones.
I'm desperately over here trying to get my network going.
Oh,
Desperately, if you hear all these clicks, I'm like, what's running? What's running?
yeah, I'm a seed popper myself. I don't take too many clones. I have cloned here and there. That run of profit, that was a first run and then cloned through off a mother, and actually like the fifth run was the mother run, and for as big of a goddamn tree that I made, the yield wasn't very much, and she was a mom for a long time, and maybe that had something to do with it. I think she was just a little tired. It spent a lot of time in the tent, just I was plucking off poppings off her for a while. I think she was mad at me.
You ever thought about just sitting there out in the sun, see if she brings some of that stuff back?
I'm not allowed to grow outside here. I sneak one out this summer. It's actually behind me. I actually just cut it down not that long ago. It was tiny. I snuck it into my tomato plants outside, and it's a granny skunk, Duke's granny skunk. But yeah, next summer I want to get another one outside and do something a little different. I have a whole new garden set up in my backyard for next year, so I think I'll be able to be kind of stealth and do something again. Allegedly, this is all fake, and none of this actually happens.
I love that allegedly.
Allegedly there's Irish genetics on the island of Jamaica.
Yeah, but
Allegedly I brought Jamaican seeds back. Allegedly this and allegedly that. But yeah.
so tell me about a little bit about your grow. I mean, how was that first grow? I mean, uh, what did it actually look like? Can you tell me a little bit about what your kind of medium you were using, the light, all that good
Oh
stuff?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you
That
told me a little
first
bit
grow.
about the first one, but I guess where you stepped up there.
That was
Yeah.
first grow in that space bin was a Fox Farms Ocean Forest grow. A lot where everyone else starts. Local feed store had that in the bag, and they had the little trio there. So that's when what I went and picked up. Used some Tiger Bloom, used some Big Grow, something like that, and kind of immediately realized that maybe measuring EC and pH and all that wasn't for me. So right now I grow in living organic soil now. I got two little 27-gallon worm bins behind me in my garage here, and I keep my worms fed, and remineralize the soil here and there, top dress here and there. But yeah, that first grow, like a lot of people, was Fox Farms Ocean Forest, and every once in a while, like if I still need something, that'll be the bag I go grab, and just amend it from there in a pinch because it's easy to get. I'm going to mute for a second so I can heat up my torch, if that's okay.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you guys in chat there. Sorry about the delays on my part, man. I am just scrambling trying to get my internet up and running right. Please bear with me. Thank you. What's up, Mystic Grower? Hopefully you are having a great night. Even Dave's not here. Monitor Genetics, Run Boy 7426. Green bicycles. Heck yeah, green bicycles back in chat. That's pretty awesome. So how did things progress? I mean, did how different was the first grow up to the second one there? What were some of the things you stepped up and changed?
Um, bought a immediately bought a 2x3 tent and a 400-watt digital ballast, Amazon. And let's see, what was the second thing I grew? I don't remember what the second thing I grew was once I popped or got my new tent open, but I want to say it was probably something from Jeff. I want to say I probably ordered seeds at that point. I can't imagine that I would have ordered. The way I got hooked up with Jeff was like just one day I was watching or listening, flipping through channels, and I see this dreadlock rosted white dude, and I'm like, huh. So I like stop and I'm listening to, or I was listening to his podcast or something. I don't know, but like he was unfortunately telling the stories about his uncles. The first time he got high on the way to a Metallica concert, and I'm like listening to this story, and I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. And then he started talking about that he's a breeder and all this, and I'm like, started listening more and more, and then finally I reached out to him and just ordered seeds from him, and that was the first pack. That's got to be the first order of seeds I ever made, and that was a few years ago, I think. If Jeff's still in there, he might even be able to remember. I don't know. But then I just started listening to his podcast, and I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty cool, and became part of the IRE Army, I guess. And I guess, stepping it up from there. Sorry, I'm a rambler. Stepping it up from there, I just started playing with the soil. I'm not a soil biologist. I don't tell anybody how to grow it. I try to stay away from telling what to feed plants or anything like that, because I've messed up enough of my own plants. But now it's kelp, worm castings, and coots malt. Use a little malted barley in there. Add some alfalfa meal here and there, neem, karanja here and there. I just started building soil and just started reusing soil. I'll dump it into my worm bins, let them recycle it, take it back out, or it just ends up going back out in my garden or out in my compost pile. And I'll end up pulling it back out of my compost pile out of my backyard and reusing it there. And I think I use some KNF inputs now. I try to keep it as simple as I can. I don't measure my pH too often. I do here and there just to see if anything's getting out of whack. I use tap water. It all seems to work out pretty decently. I use a lot of lactic acid bacteria, a lot of labs. I'm gonna keep rambling now. I'm a little stoned. Sorry. So feel free to chime in and tell me to shut up and switch topics.
Oh, no, this is perfect. This is perfect. Keep rambling. Keep rambling. I'm trying to fix things. Please keep
I'm
rambling.
gonna make sure that if you need to get a word in, I let you get a word.
Please and thank you, my friend. Please and thank you.
I'm probably making everybody's head spin that's watching. Like, what is he talking about? He keeps jumping around. But yeah, that's me. I like to have fun. I try to.
No, I'm actually. Man.
Painted Lady, yeah. So I've run the Prophet and Scarlet Begonias, and I think I killed some Strawberry Sunkissed at one point, and I killed something else too. But yeah, the Prophet, I love the Prophet. I think that one was kind of like brought to me for whatever reason. Unfortunately, I'm not. Oh, Morning Dew. I've grown Morning Dew a couple times too. I would still say the Prophet's my favorite. Just the high that it gives me. I think it just kind of works well with me. It's pretty uplifting. I definitely go for more sativa strains. Um, I'm a go guy. So that one does it for me. Lots of lemon terps. Yeah, perp. I agree, man. Ross man's cool. Ross and Jeff's cool as shit. Always taking care of me. Um,
Yeah, he's been on the show a couple times. Amazing dude. Done a ton for the community. That's what I like the best about him. Everybody's got good shit to say about him. How could you not like somebody like that? Those are the
yeah,
people
right.
I like to be around. People's got a bunch of good shit to say about you. That's always amazing. Shout out to you, Jeff.
Through Jeff, I met Jesse Groves, and Jesse Groves is like almost like he was like almost my twin. I guess if my hair was out, my beard was a little longer. But like once I met that dude, like we started bullshitting, like almost same path, same music taste, same everything. And it was like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like meet Jeff, start buying Jeff stuff, then meet this other guy that's like me, and me and Jesse hang out a lot, or virtually hang out a lot, I guess. And we had some plans to hook up at the last DGC Cup that was canceled. So hopefully I get to make it out there next year. Hopefully that doesn't get canceled. I'd love to make it out there. Um, yeah, and all the people like Purple Thumb, I believe that we're kind of in the same similar business. I think he's a sheet metal worker, does insulated wall panels, maybe ACM, and it's like the world gets smaller and smaller, and all this is kind of through cannabis.
Trades worker too, huh? Do you do metal roofing? Is that what I'm guessing?
Yeah, sheet metal worker for the last 20 years. Um, I guess there's some semi interesting story that
Shout out to you, man. That shit ain't
having
easy.
my face on camera here, see what transpires. I starting about a year and a half ago, I anonymously started, or I'm sorry, anonymously started emailing my union president about removing cannabis from our random testing. It was after Illinois went legal, and sent him a bunch of emails, like I said, anonymously, and finally I got an email back of, hey man, like I don't respond to just anonymous emails, but obviously I get it, you're a member, and obviously I get it, you're a cannabis consumer. What do you want to talk about? So I sent him another email back of, hey, finally you got back to me. I kind of want to talk about, obviously it's legal here in Illinois now, and what are you guys doing? Why are you guys still testing people, basically? And I'm like, but before I even take a phone call with you, I need to make sure everything's confidential. I'm not gonna lose my job or anything over anything like that. And he's like, oh no, absolutely. I work for you, basically, type of thing. So once all that was cleared up, I get a phone call from our union president, and I started talking to him, and back and forth, and he's like, just let me just, let me tell you, I'm on your side. I think the testing credential, or the testing procedures are bullshit. I think you know it's possible that people are finding their way around a test, or just people aren't using it. And I said, well, what do you think it is? And he said that's probably a little bit of both. Finding a way around the test, or people not using it. I said, I think you're right. Um, Ultimately, after about 4 phone calls, me, or I guess with my help, our new contract, they dropped cannabis testing from it. So we can no longer be randomly drug tested for cannabis. And I like to think I had a part in that. And I thought that was, a big step to even to move in that direction, not to mention, actually have it work out. And I went by the Cannacrat in all my conversations with him. So if he ever gets wind of this, I'm sure I'll get a phone call.
Man, I can't believe how bad this delay is. I have got everything shut down I can possibly shut down over here. Oh, this computer's giving me a headache. I can see you moving now. That's a plus. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Hopefully this makes you feel better when the you can check out and do better than the host do it. Hell, just be a good night, man. Hell, I can't even see chat right now, man. Oh,
I'm looking at chat, but I have no idea how far we are behind right now. Purple Thumb, that's a Mega Babe that I actually pressed yesterday at 185 for almost 5 minutes. Mega Babe from Family Tree Seeds that I grew out. Tastes great. Little plant material in it. I don't. Still not using bags. I still think that if anybody wants to talk about that, let's talk about pressing with or without bags, because I feel like pressing with bags, kind of, you lose a lot of material in that bag, or leave a lot of rosin in that bag. But anyways. Yeah, for sure. I thought for some reason
so do you prefer flour, pressing flour, or hash?
So far I've only pressed hash once. So flour, I guess I prefer for now. I guess that's the other thing I recently started doing was making bubble. I bought a one of those little portable washing machines and the bubble bag dude set. So now I've made hash twice. One fresh frozen run, which didn't turn out that good, and then one that was a dry run of profit, actually. Current lighting, Run Boy. I run a 400 watt HPS or metal halide in veg and SK602 Spectrum King in a 4x4 tent in flower. And I guess if I could go back, I would have saved some money on that light, bought something else. Not that it's a bad light, it's just a little expensive, I think, for what I could have probably just built on my own.
What kind of nutrients are you running over there?
Pretty much all KNF inputs. So I make FPJ out of used leaves. I got stinging nettle that grows in my garden, kind of wild. So I'll take that, make FPJ out of stinging nettle leaves. Use that. A lot of worm castings, worm teas, recharge. Shout out BGC. Shout out Scotty Reel. Obviously. Mammoth pea here and there. I'll toss that in there if I have some on hand. Mostly. That's pretty much it. Kind of let the worms do the work. Labs, a lot of lactic acid bacteria. I'm sorry if my torch is loud. I'm trying to keep it quiet.
No worries. You're putting up with. You can't even see me. I'm making a terrible host right now. I'll happily look
I'm talking to
through
a bunch
that,
of trichomes in a little
George.
box.
Right. Oh man, my internet's never been this bad. I don't even get it.
Mama Low 710, how do I re-amend my soil before it runs? Um, I've used Build a
So,
Soil. I've used the Build a
what's
Soil
the profile?
re-amend kit. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to ask you about your dabs. You go right
Oh,
ahead.
all right. Yeah, I'll finish that really quick. Remineralization kit from Build a Soil. I'll also top dress constantly with alfalfa pellets, um, alfalfa grass, neem and karanja. Um, that's about it so far. Worm meal microbes back, Lana. Let's see, how do I use no dry amendments, purple thumb? Not too many. Like I said, worms. Let the worms do the work. When and how recharge? I use recharge like once a week. You know, the once a week treat, quarter teaspoon at a time, quarter teaspoon per gallon. Yeah, LEDs and living soil. Yeah, in just in my flower tent. My veg room is under a 400-watt metal halide, old school. What do I feed my worms? Cannabis leaves, sunflowers, um, bananas, pumpkins. There's some pumpkins in there right now. Um, that's about it. Kind of keep it simple. You know, they'll get fruits, any kitchen scraps. Keep it light. You don't feed them. I don't feed them too much. Um, bin will go bad. The bin will go bad quick. Size pots and veg and flour. 5 gallons. Oh no, thanks, Purple Time. I appreciate it. This actually helps out. 5 gallons most of the time. Right now, I have uh, a granny skunk in a 15-gallon and 21 days into flower on that one. Can you see the worms? Yeah. Let me walk you over there. I don't know if I'm going to lose my connection here, but we'll see what happens. Let me flip my camera. Can I flip my camera? Yeah, I can flip my camera. Yeah, I can hear you now. So yeah. That's that one. Yeah, sticks and some flowers. They're in there. Coffee filters. Yeah, I guess they get fed coffee too. But those just stay in my garage. There we go. I can at least hear you now. Oh yeah, no, I've been chat's been doing a good job of keeping me on task. I think, anyways.
I actually had to go rogue and go onto the phone. This may be better yet for a minute anyhow.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it seems like we got much less of a delay now.
So, tell me a little bit about your growing style there. How do you like to grow things out in beds? Do you like to heavy top? Do you like to do you a scrogger? Do you like to just let them grow straight up? I mean, how do you like to work? How do you like to work that garden? I probably just missed that in a tour.
No, actually, we haven't even hit on that yet. I top here and there. Ever since I heard Coot recently, kind of poo-poo topping, and for some reason, I've always felt like topping was bad too. Maybe it's fine. I don't do it super often. I do more pop and twist. I don't clone a whole bunch because I kind of suck at it, so it's never really worth my time. Yeah, pop, twist, tie down a little bit here and there, and that's about it. Not too much trimming, not too much defoliation, just little defoliation. Purple stems get cut off. That's about it. Shave the legs a little bit at the bottom. I should probably do more so I don't end up with like little nugs like this. You end up with big golf balls instead. But it all smokes the same. I think you might be muted.
That time it was my dumbass. I had the mic on again. Damn it. This couldn't be any more of a struggle for me tonight.
No, this is perfect.
So I heard you say that you prefer to start from seed, but do you take clones? And if you do, can you walk us through your method a little bit on taking some clones?
I don't take them super often. I do have 3 clones right now, and I'm actually trying a method that I saw from Ball for Life because I do a pretty poor job of cloning. I've tried a turbo cloner; it hasn't worked. Well, not a turbo cloner, a homemade turbo cloner. I have had success, just not the success that I would want. So, Ball for Life uses an upside down mason jar and a plug. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have one with cloning gel, I have one with aloe, and I have one with cloning dust, I guess, cloning powder. And I'm trying it this way just because I want to see. I need a way that works for me, and so far I haven't found that way. So maybe this way will work.
I prefer my oxycloner, but I've went through my methods, but that seems to be a pretty foolproof method for me. Kind of set it and forget it type thing.
How many clones do you usually take at a time? Are you taking 30?
I run 2 side by side, 220 sites side by side. So when it does come down to it, that's my max is 40.
Yeah, I struggle, taking 5. I can't imagine killing 40.
Well, that's usually just to get the one. The extras tend to go out to friends.
Yeah.
There's many different genetics as I come across anymore. I used to try to keep a library like of the cup moms. And at one time it got as large as 32, but it just got too big of a headache to try to keep everything. Make sure you got proper cuts of everything, and just got to be a headache. So anymore, I'm unless it's just a stunner, I'm just like moving on. I'm
Just keep
keeping
running
some.
through.
Yeah, I'm keeping, cycling some to get me through the next round of seeds. You know what I mean? To have something to smoke on and kind of get me through that first round to see if I even like the next round. Because that's always a possibility too. that, what's in the garden may be just something that you're like, oh, yeah, I can't believe this. This has got to go. And at that point, hopefully, I've got to back up from, the run prior of something I don't mind. So
I kind of work the same way.
So do you
Keep
run
us.
like a professional over there? Is that what you try to run over there?
Yeah. So I guess to we'll get back into setups. So I did have I had a 3x6 bed down there, that living soil bed, that running perpetual, and I inadvertently brought in some compost, and 2 weeks later I just had the biggest infestation of fungus gnats, and I'm assuming aphids. And it went rotten down there, and everything went bad. And that's how I got back into just doing 5 gallons, and now stepping back up a little bit again. That's why the worms are now out here, and running back to running perpetual, vegging, and just moving them into the flower tent as I go. Try to pull something about every 30 days, and that has me more than enough medicine.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how perpetual is perpetual? They, that could be a lot of things, to be honest with you. My perpetuals. I'm lucky enough to swing mine to where it's every month.
That's about where I'm at. Probably getting closer to every 3 weeks now, which is kind of nice. but it's also, it turns into a room issue too, to have room and not run into the same issue. What I find is of growing, obviously it looks like you grow in a basement, or it's really easy to attract pests, and it's really hard to get rid of them in a situation when you're kind of underground, and it's maybe wetter than it should be in spots, and conditions aren't perfect. I don't know where I was going with that just now.
I'm probably confusing you a little bit with these multi-cameras. I think I actually got the computer up and running right. I just got to kick myself off the other.
Yeah, that's much of a lag at all now.
Slowly getting there under control here.
Every
So, how do you like the flower? I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go.
Might be better off just sticking with the phone.
Like I said, I had that stern warning from my wife about cutting people off, so I want to make sure I'm not cutting you off. But then I think that ties into the lag too. So every 30 days, like I said, I think I'm closer down to every 3 weeks. Is it really that far behind on YouTube? Like I'm seeing on YouTube just my worms now.
YouTube and chat's like 30 seconds behind. Me and you are, I can't even know. I don't even know how far behind me and you are at the moment. This has got to be terribly difficult on your end.
I'm about to start my basement. You're going to go somewhere juicy, Cannacrat. So more control over pests. I don't know why. More control over pests. Yeah, don't overwater. that's that's the thing, and have enough ventilation to extract it, bring in enough air, and take out enough air, and keep your humidity and temperatures right. That's the best I can give you. Oh, watering will be your biggest, at least my biggest enemy. I did try running blue mats for a little while. The soaker hose and the carrots went right back to hand watering both. After trying both methods. I'm trying to read the chat here so we don't have too much
I'm being a little
time.
daring to actually try to get my chat going now. Oh man, you've been a hell of a sport, by the way. One hell of a sport, by the way.
I'm trying to at least stay, somewhat entertaining here. I'd rather have it be like this, natural, rather than feel like there's some kind of structure behind it.
Yeah,
Perp,
I've
the
always
soaker
kind of
hose.
felt that's been kind of the best working format for the show. And one of the, how it got to be that way. I have no qualms into telling you how it got to be that way. Is when I started this, I wanted it to be somewhat structured. You know what I mean? I sat down. I used to like look down the IG pages and try to get like a list of questions I wanted to ask and all that. And every time I did that, the guests canceled on me. Every time I did some backup, background on them, did the trouble to line up a question sheet. So it got to be like a bad omen. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with whatever comes up.
let it flow. No
and I've
structure.
never
Let it
looked
flow.
back. Yeah, we'll just let it flow, go where, and it seems to have worked. People seem to be more comfortable with the way it flows, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Another thing I thought was weird too. Not weird, but a little something that I think I do different than some of the other shows do different. It's this right here. You know what I mean? You're not talking to that background that makes it feel like kind of, showy. Not, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know what I mean? It actually feels like more like it takes the personality out of it. You know what I mean? You actually feel like you're talking to a host or something like that. To
We're
where
just
I
hanging out
think,
in your basement.
I've been told anyway, it's more, yeah, it's like, yeah, we're just buddies hanging out basically versus, giving it that like show atmosphere there. All right. I can appreciate the coffee there too.
Oh yeah. Cheers. Got my Embracing Organic show mug. Shout out all those guys too. Derby and Dan, cool as shit.
Yeah, a bunch of great guys over there, man. I'm still working on Mr. Bocillus and Zen and Rasta Bob. I haven't reached out to yet. I haven't really figured out that connection or how I can reach out to him yet. I actually haven't figured it out, but that's my bad. I'm sure I'll get there somehow. But
He
I
might
would
still
like to
be.
get him
He
on the
might still be in
show. He's,
chat.
them three right there.
Oh, I'm sure if you reached out to him, any one of them
That'd be
would come on
pretty.
for sure. I think.
So I've had them all on except those three, and I've actually been honored to be on their show. They were nice enough to ask me to be on early on here. So
I
they are some
watched
cool
that.
guys over there. I have no problems with you.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I always catch up.
Nice.
So to get on here tonight, I went to bed and I set an alarm to wake back up at 10. I usually go to bed pretty early. And that's when I catch you in the morning because I get up usually 3 o'clock in the morning to get ready. 10 to the garden and then get ready for work. And I told my wife I was going to be on here, and she's like, "What time's it start?" And I'm like, "I think around 11 or something." I'm like, "I have no idea how I'm going to do this." I'm like, I'm going to go to bed early and set an alarm, I guess." And so that's what I did. So I never catch their show live. I always usually catch it up the next morning.
Yeah, Purple Thumb Stabby's been on as well. Yeah, I seen you come in last night, and boy, did you ever walk into a rabbit hole last night? As far as you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna tune in to see what tonight's gonna be like. I was like, oh, I seen your name pop up, and I was like, oh,
Oh no.
oh, I hope he doesn't get discouraged after what he's seeing in chat currently.
I think it's
It was
great.
a fun night though.
When I wake up
Sometimes
that
we just
early in the
have some
morning,
fun.
that early in the morning, and I head out to my little spot here in the garage and where I hang out and watch the shows in the morning, and it's like kind of amazing to me that there's other people that are up at that time doing the exact same thing that I am because it's early in the morning. You look weird walking the dog at 3:30 in the morning. I feel weird sitting in my garage smoking bongs at 3:30 in the morning, but like that's my time to be awake and do my thing. I going to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So when you guys are on and that rabbit hole is going, it's kind of a blast for me to get up and see that everybody's just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I if I should actually rewatch last night, man. I think we pretty much covered like everything last night. I don't think there's too many subjects we didn't hit on throughout last night's rabbit hole. I mean, it was, because there wasn't a guest, it was pure rabbit hole from start to finish, and it was like 7 hours and 17 minutes, I think, just pure rabbit hole.
Charity marathon.
And it was a fun night for sure. Man. Those nights are so fun though. And like you say, it's so unscripted. You never know where it's gonna go, and it can be some fun. It can be some fun.
So
So, do you watch the anime, MMA? I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
No.
no, not really. Yeah. That's fine. Let's bullshit about everything. I got no problem with that. Here and there, if I catch a fight, I just catch a fight. I guess. I've never really have any skin in the game. I don't gamble or anything like that. So it's like I it is what it is to me for MMA. And to be honest with you, the older I get, all sports are pretty much. I kind of start to shrug my shoulders at all sports. I guess it's kind of sad. I spent 14 years on the Bears season ticket waiting list, and then 2 years ago I got the letter that my name came up 2 weeks before I was leaving for Jamaica. So I would have had to come up with like $4,000 for tickets and parking before right before vacation, and I just kind of looked at my wife and I'm like, well, that just kind of ends that pursuit of a 14-year waiting list. And I ever since then, and now COVID has made sports so weird to watch that it's just kind of I spend more time in my garden or even outside in my outside garden, and I find more peace and serenity in that anyways.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of sports in myself, so don't feel bad. And I just started watching MMA again. So, you know, I only asked because there was a fight earlier today. That's why I asked.
Who's Khabib?
So yeah,
Is that who's supposed to win tonight or something?
Khabib.
Khabib.
Yeah, he did
You know,
win.
I see
He's
it.
been
You
the
know,
reigning champion now for. I was just
you're a
kind of
car
hoping
guy,
it
right?
went the other way. But oh yeah, I enjoy a nice car. That's for sure.
When you and Jermaine Dan were talking about it, you know,
Truck.
I was truck.
Yeah, definitely. I've always had a truck. But I've heard, there's nothing wrong with having a nice car that goes fast. I've had a few myself, but I've always had that truck. That's my first choice.
Yeah, Aldrich, so did I. I replaced sports with watching grow shows too.
But
I replaced working on cars with watching grow shows.
so, is that your outside of grow, your passion there? Do you actually like to race them or you just like to work on them?
I used to do a little bit of both. I was out of high school. I went to UTI and I was an ASE certified mechanic for a couple of years, and then had a Mustang, had two Mustangs, two Lightnings, Mustang '89 LX. I bought when I was 16, August 1st, 1996, and then actually just sold that 2 years ago now. Had a 10-point cage, 11 and a half to 1, 347. Um, Needed somewhere to put the kids and just kind of got sick of working on cars. And like I said, everything goes right back to gardening for me now. Like that's the de-stressor for me is just go in the garden. So you know, cars and all that just kind of take a side.
Yeah, I bet your knuckles can appreciate that.
Yeah, right.
Man, I just I don't mind. It's one of those things, man. I'll be really, really honest with you. I don't. I'm too cheap to pay somebody to work on my stuff, which I always have been. Which can be its ups and downs. You know, Lord knows you guys earn your money. I have wasted probably more cash and time and effort than it was worth to pay you guys. You know what I mean? Taking a day off work to do something stupid by the time I'm running around for parts and all that good of shit. I could have probably just paid somebody and just been done with it. But
There's so much more satisfaction
yeah,
in doing
and
it. You know,
even
that's the
more
same
so now with the
buying a tomato or growing a tomato. You know, there's just so much
oh,
more satisfaction in doing it yourself.
oh man, I wish that were so true, man. I about knocked myself the fuck out the other day, man. No, I have no. I can honestly laugh and same thing. I used to have a nice space. I used to have at the old house had multiple garages. I had a little bit of room to wrench. Where I'm at now, not so much. Everything's a little bit tighter. I downsized pretty heavy when I came up this way. So now, if I'm wanting to wrench, I still have a lot of my tools, but now if I have to wrench, it's like out in the yard or out in the driveway. No longer fun. Throw down a tarp, roll
Yeah.
around. It's usually you got a rock in your back, or you've got the jack starting to tip because you're on sand, and you got to let her back down, put some boards under there, stir her back up. Oh, it's usually a hassle. But so uh, my rear shocks on my truck were both blew out from nice roads around here, the nice washboard back roads that I like to do in my shocks.
We have the same ones.
So I'm changing. I climb under there and I go to, it's been a minute since they were changed. And I go to uh, get on this bolt and it actually broke off on me. I broke the some bitch right off the gate. So I go to work on the top side and get a little frustrated. It's actually rusted, rounded. The stopper that spins around catches broke off, and I
That's the
can't
ear
even
snap
get a
right off.
wrench on it now.
Perfect.
Yeah. So now I'm like, heck with this. I go get the saws off so I can reach up in there and just cut that thing out. And of course, last blade. I get up in there and I get like I can see it's like that far. There's like nothing left of that bowl. So me, the brute that I try to be sometimes, I grab the shock and I'm like, fuck this thing. I'm gonna break that bowl. I'm just gonna
Fuck the
break it.
shock.
So I grab the shock and I'm like just reefing on the shock, just reefing on that thing. And to be honest with you, the where the shock met that part where it goes through, it broke right there. The bolt stayed up in there, and just the rod that in the shock broke off from there. And when that thing snapped, I fell back and hit my head on the springs behind me. I mean, I hit that thing good. Completely blanked out there for a second. I laid under the truck for I don't even know how long. But I
Figure
actually
out where
like
you're at.
came through with like a revelation about like some shit that had been bothering me that day. Like as soon as I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Where the fuck, man? I'm under the truck. So yeah, I almost think I knocked myself out cold that day. I'm like, yeah, man, this has got to stop. I've got to make friends with a mechanic or somebody with with somebody with a garage area up here I can work in. This shit's fucking old.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
it's satisfying when it's
it was a bit
situational.
foggy. I ain't seen Smiley like 2 days later or the next day. I even think it was. I turned around. I'm like, man, is there a fucking bruise back there? Because it felt like there was a nice bruise on the backside there. He's like, nah, you can't see it. Maybe he was just being nice. Nah, I can't see nothing. I'm like, you
No,
sure? I
looks great.
fucking nah.
Not so much here or here. Here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time to wrap it up and just pay somebody. As much as I'd like to save the cash and the gratification, like you say, of doing it yourself. Anymore, it's not the gratification. I'm usually down a couple of wrenches because I've gotten out from under the truck and just like in wrath, fucking pitch something into the field, fucking
Wrecked everything you were wearing.
motherfucker.
Clothes are
Yeah,
garbage.
just took the knuckle skin off of every knuckle. Just got out from under there, just chucked a wrench. Yeah, it's just not even worth it anymore. I don't have the patience. I don't blame you for spending time in the garden.
Yeah, I think like I said, I guess I kind of live in a bubble due with COVID. Not my lifestyle hasn't changed too much. I've actually just had more time to make bigger gardens in my backyard. Now I set up a hoop house last year. I covered it finally this year, and I still have tomatoes growing in there even after it got down to 28 the other night here. I went in the hoop house yesterday, and just tomatoes are doing great. I mean, they're starting to get powdery mildew, and obviously temperature changes here. Um, but I kind of walk out there, and it's like, man, this thing's still going. That's so much gratification for me. And then I walk over to my other garden. There's still some pumpkins growing out there. I took it all down yesterday, but still some peppers, and it's just like so COVID has just given me time to do that and time to kind of reflect on, shit that's kind of really important, I guess.
It's a good place to do it, though. It's a good place to do it.
Yeah, so
Man, I wish I would have built the bullet and reset that connection early on.
yeah, this is working out a lot better now.
This is yeah, much
I
better,
gotta I
much
gotta
better.
grab a water really. 1 second.
Heck yeah. Thank you, chat, for being so patient, for sitting through all the delays tonight. You guys have been pretty awesome.
Oh, purple thumb. I don't have any time off. I guess like my daily, I don't have time off. It's more like because like my kids don't have anything going on. I have time off. I guess like, so much time off. We bought a puppy. I guess I needed to fill some time. But yeah, I guess to get back to talking about
What kind of puppy did you get?
we don't know what it is. It was a rescue.
You can't bring up a puppy and not say what kind of damn puppy you got there. You don't know what it is, just a rescue?
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
that's
a
good
rescue.
anyway.
His name is Fozzie
See a big.
Foghorn. Looks like he's probably got maybe a little bit of pit bull in him. They said he was probably a labradoodle type cross or something like that. I don't see a whole lot of doodle in him. I definitely see a little bit of lab, maybe a little bit of pit bull in him. Great dog though. So far, he's just turned 4 months the other day. Getting big. He's already 36 pounds or something, so he's gonna be big.
Right now.
4 legs, 2 ears, etc. Sounds like a puppy. Yeah. So
Every time you try.
Jim Cooley Bob's still in chat. So there's your formal invite right there.
Formal invitation. Heck yeah. Mr. Ross Bob, I would love to get you on the show. I've seen you on the EO show and very interested in getting you on. You've been requested as a guest or as a prospective guest. And when I asked the chat who they want to see, you've definitely been one of the names as well. So let's please try to make that happen. You gotta like the live invites. You gotta take them when you get them, right?
Hey, Perp, yeah, he's white
I try to be
with a
that
little
way
bit
in
of
life
brown.
too.
Not too many, a couple little spots. I'll post some pics on IG a little later. Yeah, Green 13. I saw your puppy the other day on when you were live. I think it was you. But yeah, Jim Cooley Bob. Anyways, get back to
Yeah, see
I
what I
guess
mean?
talking about
You
grow.
can't just bring up. You get back
Right,
talking about grow. I just wanted to say, see what I mean? You can't bring up. You can't just bring up puppy and not go into it.
Yeah, I know. So right currently, I got some family tree seeds, Pam F2s going, some Mexi weed. I think it's some kind of land race cross. I actually don't remember what it was going, babies. And then some second generation genetics testers going, JD short. Pretty excited for those. I didn't know that I was even going to get those. I applied for them kind of like a while back, and then like one day this pack of seeds show up. I'm like, holy shit, sweet. Couldn't get them in water quick enough. Pretty excited
those
on
days. I love them days. I can't get home fast enough when I get home, but I find some genetics in the mailbox, like a kid in the candy store. Like a kid
total
in the candy store.
Christmas morning every time. It doesn't matter what it is.
Oh yes, I know that feeling. So you gonna when you gonna drop down?
Those are all those right now. The family tree seeds are in 1 gals, and they're all probably about 12, not quite 12 inches high, maybe 8 inches high. in 1 gallons. The Mexi weed seeds are the Mexi weed babies are all in like little half gallons, little half-gallon fabric pots, and those are 6 inches tall, 5-6 inches tall. And then the testers are all still in little starter pouches, and those are a week and a half out of the soil. So now it'll be. I just took clones. That's where I took that. Where I was talking about that dude Ball for Life, his cloning method there with the mason jars. I don't know if I got fully into it. I think I might have strayed off at some point, but you mason jar upside down and just kind of use it like as a terrarium basically. It kind of keeps it moist, and use a little plug in there. And so I have 2 clones of the Pam Anderson right now, of the F2s that I just took yesterday, trying that method. So we'll see what happens. And I'm going to try to flip one of those Pam Andersons probably soon and just try to sex it out. I want those clones to root first though.
So what would the terp profile be on Pam Anderson? What are you
have
expecting to get
no
out of that? I'm just
idea what
curious.
to expect. So Tyler, Mr. Trees bred that. I believe it started as a bag seed, and I believe he's bred it from a bag seed. He can correct me if I'm wrong, or somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. But he had it checked out with Phylos, and it didn't have anything in the Phylos galaxy. It wasn't showing any connection to anything, and the certain or the I believe the mom that he picked to breed with, I actually think maybe his wife picked out, but he sent me a picture of like the mom that he had picked, and she's just absolutely gorgeous looking. Pretty purple, pretty red, just fall colors, just gorgeous. So what it's going to smell like, what it's going to taste like, no idea. So far, all 5 that I started have a good start. So hopefully they stay in that direction, and we'll see how many females I get. I'm going to just take clones. I'm going to try to take clones of every plant, flip the mom plant after I root the clones, and sex them out from there.
Do you ever re-veg any? Are any so good and you missed that chance to get that cut? Do you ever bring them back?
I tried. So there's another one of my failures. I've only tried to re-veg once, and it was actually a Swamp Boys layer cake, and it was pretty cool looking golf ball size. Actually, golf ball size buds, purple, and just like when I grew it, I just kind of enjoyed it. The closest thing now that I have to that, I actually just got done with. I actually just gave a bunch of it away, but it's this. I didn't re-veg this one because I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. But there's yeah, who knows? I don't know if you're really going to be able to see that. That would have been one that was one I tried to re-veg, and it was just a failure, only because it had this kind of same purple bud profile, just more of like a coffee taste, like a mocha chocolate taste. And this is a lemon or chocolate covered lemons by Obsidian Genetics that I grew out. Just did one plant. I popped a couple beans, grew one plant. That was the one that made it. I guess I actually have 2 that made it. There's one more down there that's probably wrap up in a couple weeks, but kind of lagging behind. Not doing the greatest, but it'll be decent. Okay.
Did you catch that one, Tal? Did you catch that one? I know you're in chat. That's 2 of his favorite terps right there. Much my favorite myself, but I'm not necessarily in the hunt for chocolate right now. But he is. He's definitely looking for some chocolate. But me myself, as far as the 2 and being enjoyed, I love me some coffee and chocolate.
Mhm.
They're a match made in heaven. So was it good in cannabis cross, mixed together like that? Did you find it enjoyable in the cannabis?
Yeah, I think that right there, I kind of wish I would have taken, a clone of that one, just because of it's just tasty, I guess, and it really does go good with coffee. It's good in the morning, gets you going.
So what were some of the effects like? Was it heavily sedative? Sounds like it
Mm-mm.
would be some. Sounds like despite the coffee, it sounds like it would be sedative to me for some reason.
No, no, not at all. I think that one kind of gets me going, kind of more blood flow than anything. That particular one, anyways.
Trinity Farms is asking me how long do I wait after popping seeds to flip. Just depends on the strain, how big she gets, how quickly I can identify her to be sexed. That has a little bit to play in it as well. But it's usually right around 45 to 60 days on average.
I would say it's about the same. This is the first time I'm trying to take clones and sex something out before I continue on with it. Because now I'm trying to find, like, I guess just that keeper or a couple keepers, and just try to have something that I like that I can clone and maybe just try to keep for a while, and then run the run throughs, next to the keepers or something.
What have been some of the strains you've enjoyed so far as running? What have I didn't even ask for a favorite because it's so hard to nail down a favorite. But what's been some of the ones that you've really enjoyed running? Big colas, nice yields. Doesn't have to be one you kept. You know what I mean? Which ones are some of the ones you just enjoyed running?
Um, let's see. Kind of like growing everything. I'll be honest with you. I'm not super picky. I'm not, whatever it turns out to at the end. If I got to make hash with it, I'll make hash with it, or make edibles with it, make edibles with it. I like having fun, just kind of rolling through everything. You'll never see me, it pretty much, if something goes wrong in my garden, I usually think it's probably, a fault of mine. I'm never gonna like bag anybody's genetics or anything like that. I'll definitely never bag on anybody's grow either, because man, I think we've all had some problems here and there, and I love posting a picture and everyone, you know, and that is just like that's great looking, shit like that. I love that shit. I love watching other people's grows. I love just the plant, I guess. So I can't say I have a favorite one to grow. They're all my favorite. I really enjoy all the even the failures. It's like, okay, I learned something off that one, or hopefully I learned something off that one. That didn't work. Try something else.
But that's hard to believe. There's got to be at least one of them that didn't have to hardly trim that thing, threw out some big nugs, didn't have to support her. There's always some that are a pleasure.
Let's see. That third run of the profit, I guess. When I was talking about earlier, the soil just hit right. Everything just hit right. Everything came out right, I guess. I guess that would have been the one, the third run of that Genetics profit. So I guess if anybody's looking for something really, really easy to grow, I don't know if he still has any of those beans left around. That's an easy one to grow. You can beat the shit out of that plant and it'll bounce back. Um, I did just about everything to that plant. I never popped one bean in that thing. You know, there was never hermed out. It never, and really, I guess most of my herms have been mostly, you know, light leaks or doing something stupid, going in there and with the wrong LED, wrong green bulb LED. I guess you need an LED, not a fluorescent bulb. Whoops. I couldn't get that plant to her, you know, show intersex traits or anything like that. So people out there looking for something easy to grow that'll, you know, good lemon terps, everything, good soil, the profit. And from what I understand, maybe the orange gasm is like that he's got going now. It seems like I don't have any of those seeds. I haven't grown that yet. It seems like there's a lot of those seeds out there, and it's sure sounding like the ease of growth and the return people are getting on their investment in that pack of seeds is getting pretty good. So if he doesn't have any of the profit left, if somebody's looking for something easy to grow, maybe try the orange gasm from Irie Genetics.
I've heard nothing but good things about that orange gasm, and I hear it quite a bit. That's,
Yeah, it seems like I think now there's a couple of
it's
commercials
actually funny.
running it now.
It's like it's like he just happened to like explode onto the radar for me anyway. You know, it's like I barely heard anything, and then it was like it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It took off that quick.
Good genetics. Price. You know, like and a good podcast too. You know, the guy's teaching you how to grow for free.
That's that says a lot about a quality breeder to me. You know what I mean? Again, big ups to him. When you're selling your genetics, and like you said, you put out a podcast and you can sit there and take questions about your genetics. I mean, that's standing by it and being a hell of a businessman, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I look for in a breeder. I actually hold off a lot of times if I'm going to thinking about purchasing seeds with my own, pulling some money out. I wait till the events. I go and talk to the breeders firsthand. I want to know what they're passionate about, and that's usually heavenly weighs on my decision. It might not be, their number one top selling strain I might want. After talking with them, I might want the fucking tester pack. I might buy something just to get that tester pack that he's so, ecstatic about. You know what I mean? Actually, I'm working with this one, but it's not quite out yet. But I've got it right here. But it needs a little bit more work. And I'm like, really? Toss me that one. You know what I mean? How do
Let
I
me
get
try
to
it.
that?
That's kind of how I felt about with the Pam Anderson. Once I saw Tyler talking about that, I was like, oh, really? Yeah. I got to get my hands on that. Oh, you know what? So there's another good strain that I grew out that I really enjoyed was his Hubble, Family Tree Seeds Hubble. It's I think it tests out at 1-to-1 and 2-to-1. I don't have anything left. Um, but really, really good. That was a good sedative one there. So pretty easy to grow. Another one that was easy to grow, super frosty buds. Um, really kind of so when I called him, there's in Southwest Illinois here, there's a 3M or a Scotch tape factory, 3M tape factory, Scotch tape factory or something. And that's how I explained to him the terps that were coming off that plant. That's what it smelled like. It was like, I remember driving past that factory. If you take the invisible tape and smell it, that's what it smelled like. And I'm like, or paint or something, or latex paint. And like, and then the shit just tasted great, smoked great, and then just really really good body medicine. And I obviously attribute that to the having the heavier CBD in it or CB. Yeah, maybe it might even be CBN. You have to ask and have to look that one up.
CBN's very sedative and can be very psychoactive. I mean, it can be very psychoactive. So I don't know if those are a couple of things that you encountered when you're talking about them, but I was actually just bummed. The other day, I fucking I went and got my some ink done, and I went and I took some CBD with me, and I had some CBN with me as well, which when it was mailed to me was I got it. It was almost scared me a little bit that I got it in the mail like that because they were great people. You know, same people that sent me that I should give them a shout out to. It's Happy Tree, yeah, Happy Cloud. Sorry, so Happy Cloud 989. They sent me some CBD. They sent me some delicious cookies and some suckers, and they sent me some CBD or CBN, and it was in this like little jar, and it was all white powder. It
Just
almost looked like Coke. It was scary. I seen this and I pulled it out and I'm like, what in the
what the
shit is
fuck?
this? It says CBN isolate. I'm like,
Yeah, I can't imagine
I
that.
had to look at it. You know, I'm like, you know,
Take a
I'll
look.
put
One
it
day
in
I
the
look, I'm
medicine
like,
cabinet. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe it's something. You know what I mean? And then I was talking with Fragoli, and he would happen to be talking about same shit, and you know, just got some. He said same thing. Scared me when I seen it. It looked so much like cocaine. I was afraid to carry it. But same thing. You know, basically, you know, get a little bit under your finger, pinky, or whatever, and just a dab on the tongue, and that was enough to just alleviate pain, just kind of set you back, and and that's so I took it to with me to the tattoo parlor, cheat on my tattoo a little bit, and so I'm like sitting there doing the drops of CBD, and I actually forgot about the isolate. I had it in my pocket, and then I got home, and then I go to pull the thing out. I actually go reach in and I pull out the thing, and the top's off it, and it's all spilled in my pocket. I'm like, son of this is gonna look shady.
bad time to get pulled over. I
Right?
swear
Yeah.
it's
Couldn't wait
CBD.
to.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah. Please just send it in. Just test it
Yeah.
already.
Everything's CBD these days.
Yeah. I don't think it would have worked like that.
Yeah.
Sure, buddy. Sure. Yeah, but
But
I set up this little table over here because I figured it'd be a fucking. I seen Mr. Gazoo in chat there. And wanted to see, let him see that I did get the rig,
oh
and I
yeah.
thought,
Show that thing off.
what a good time to take a dab. I
Yeah,
was
let's
sitting
do it.
there while I'm struggling. I'm sitting there listening to you torch in there. I'm like, man, if I wasn't busy trying to get this connection right, I'd be all in on a dab right now. So thank you, Kazoo, man. I took one little dab earlier on it, and I enjoyed it. It was very, very nice, man. I don't mind the dab straws. I can't keep them. They tend to roll around and break. That's why I ended up with this thing here. But this thing, man, this nail, man, this metal, you lose so much flavor in that titanium. But man, the actually hitting one in the rig was actually really nice. Really nice. So, yeah, can't wait. I'm actually gonna go in for some Fagroli. Speaking of Fagroli, I'm gonna take a little dab with some lime skunk. for growing. That shit's really good. Super good. Should be playing the song, but how many seconds are you warming up for? You're muted. You're still muted.
I didn't hear what you said the first time. Sorry. I think like 10 to 12 seconds. I don't pay too much attention, I guess. I try to get it red hot and cool it back down for a second. Yeah, cheers.
Ooh. Nice. Oh man. I forgot that how big it was. What a dedication rig could be. That's what I kind of like about the dab straw. It's like you can go in and out real quick. That was nice.
Looks like it hits pretty good.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Should have mic'd off when I was here. Yeah, real nice. Super tasty, man. I hadn't got to enjoy a dab that tasty in quite some time.
So what's your favorite to grow? What's your favorite plant? What's your best thing you've ever grown? And what's the one you want back?
I always get that same questions. They're all tough ones. Best one that I want to have grown. Again, we're talking about structure, yield, buzz.
You
It can
sat
be all
down,
different things, to be honest with
tasted
you.
it, and you're like, "Oh, that one's good. That one's good." And then the last one that you burnt to that one, you're like, "Man, I want that one back."
Uh, I feel like
It's hard, right?
Crazy Train was like that for me. Yeah, it is. Crazy Train was like that for me. I really enjoyed the flavor and the buzz. Super greasy. It's just one of those ones that you kind of looked at, you'd hit. You know what I mean? Purple Death Star was like that for me. Uh, I really enjoyed the fuel. I mean, it was super fuely, but had a nice wow to it, and that would be probably one of the ones for me because it was one of the ones like it was all nug, super hardy. I mean, the leaves were like almost like rubber, thick. You know what I mean? You could tell that plant could endure some shit. And then as far as trimming, it was like nothing, like ching ching ching, done. You know what I
Done.
mean? There was like no, yeah. It was a pleasure to grow and pleasure to trim. So that'd be two right there. As far as one to have back, I wish I would had back, and I, I can't go there because I'm like I smoke so damn much. Uh, I come up, I have I get a tolerance for just about anything in like no time. It was like even this the garlic punch and the wedding smash I just cracked from Medgrower One. Got those for a tester. Uh, harvest them in. That wedding cake, the fuel leaner, kicked my ass for like the first 4 days. You know what I mean? Because it was new, whole new profile. Fifth day into it, it was just like, I was enjoying the flavor profile, but it was like every other thing in the garden at that point. You know, so
I think there becomes
yeah,
a saturation
I'm always
level for
kind
sure.
of constantly looking. I've never quit. I can honestly say,
Oh no, I don't quit.
and from the time I started smoking, yeah, I've never quit. I've never
I just
tried
pick
to
up.
slow down. I mean, I've changed lifestyles,
I just
jobs,
keep going up.
women, living environments to maintain being able to keep that lady in my life. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's why I kind of feel that. I guess like
Yes, my tolerance has
same way.
always been way up there.
Yeah, mine too. I'm the same way with tolerance. Like what we were talking about, just kind of rolling through the strains there. That's what's always kind of nice about having, a little selection in the cabinet of you get a little build the tolerance to something and then switch it out with something else for a little while, build a tolerance for that, go back to another one, and then a month later get back on like the fourth one. And now you're back to having no tolerance to, that certain terpene level or those terpenes and those, those levels of compounds in that bud, and then introduce a new one.
Right? I always got to have something new. What's up, Sean? Quick shout out to my nephew. My nephew, love that little guy right there. I can't call him a little guy anymore. He's fucking grown man these days. It's so hard not to fuck. Man, makes me feel old, man. I see my nieces and nephews fucking grow up, and now they're fucking, in their mid 20s and shit, man. I was
Yeah, I got a
not
niece
so
that was
long
born
ago,
in.
man. I was at a party with them. I don't drink, but it was fucking 4th of July. They're all hanging out. Will you come? I'm like, hell yeah, come. You know, Cannabis is here in Michigan. So we sit and, it's nothing now to come up to the party and be able to sit there and smoke while everybody else is drinking and shit. And it was just so surreal to, you know, hey, you want to play this some beer pong? I'm like, you fuckers don't know I don't drink and shit. You know what I mean? But it felt so, surreal to be around them while they're fucking partying and shit. And,
I have a
but it was
niece
an
that was
awesome time, man.
my niece was born in in '97 when I graduated high school, and now she smokes. My whole family smokes for the most part. So, but like now standing in the garage burning with her is very surreal. It's like, man, like it seemed like just yesterday I was dipping you in the 30-gallon drum, empty drum of Pennzoil grease, and now she was like just a baby, playing, and now she's standing here smoking bongs with me. It's just like goes fast.
Oh, well, in this case here, it's kind of funny because they've always, known I've smoked. You know what I mean? It's been no secret their uncle has smoked. But as far as growing and whatnot, that was I've kept that pretty well tucked for a long time. And this last year, the one that's in chat there, I decided to open up a little bit and let him in and shit. Then I asked him if he wanted to go to an event. I'm like, on the way, I'm like, oh yeah. By the way, I'm a grower, and this could be kind of interesting. I'm not only a grower, but I'm a little. I'm kind of like a little known for being a grower. I
Like
said,
people might know me.
yeah, this could get a little weird. I'm sure we're gonna, and it was too. We as soon as we practically got out of the car, people were like grabbing me. Hey man, what's up? I'm like, I told you it was.
I
It made
told
for an
you.
interesting conversation. Yeah, it made for an interesting conversation. And it was like, by the way, can you still kind of keep this under your hat for to I haven't told everybody in the fam, so you know this is something for me and you for
Yeah,
now.
not too
So
many
yeah.
people in my family know. My mom knows, my stepdad knows. Um, but my mom's, I guess, kind of where I get my green thumb from. She doesn't grow cannabis or anything, but I mean, she can grow fucking any house plant and just blow it up. So it's always fun smoking with her too. She can roll, she's 65 years old and can roll just like the tightest, nicest joint. I'm 41 and can't roll a joint to save my life. Floppy thing that's just falling apart.
Yeah, I actually gave up on rolling joints. I don't know what it is, man. I can't freehand one anymore. I can. I can actually roll it. It just won't stay together anymore. It's weird. I mean, it sounds stupid, but it's very true. I can hand roll a joint, and midway for roach, that thing's gonna want to come unpeeled. But I can roll the same material in a roller and roll 50 of them in a row, and not one of them will come undone. But the first time I, roll that one by hand, same pack of papers, nothing. I can't
I just
figure it
can't
out for the
do it.
life of me.
I just, I tried to take guitar lessons in sixth grade. Same thing. I just don't have like the dexterity, the small dexterity to my fingers for that. I just can't do it.
No shame in that. With rolling a nice, perfectly rolled joint. That's the way I like them. It was a bag eater though when I switched. A roller can erase a jar right quick
So can a
versus
press.
some hand rolled joints. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
That's one thing, man. Like I've had a lot of fun. I've only had this thing for 2 weeks, and I started looking at my jars this morning. I'm like, oh man, you need to slow down, dude. Quit pressing so much, but it's a lot of fun, and but it kind of just sits in my garage. So my now, so yeah, I guess we can talk about it. I think you got a few daughters, right? Uh, Maybe two or three. I'm
Oh yeah.
also, I got only two girls. I'm a two girl dad too. Um, my kids, my kids have been to Jamaica with me twice. I'm fairly certain that they have a general idea, the funky smell in the garage, and now there's a press that just sits here. Not that it sits next to my toolbox. It could be an automotive tool. Who knows? But there was I'm assuming your kids all know what you do. Um, and they're in that part. So the very recently, my 11-year-old, I was sitting out here, and she came out, and my rig was out, and I just I wasn't gonna hide it at that point, and she kind of looked around, and I keep all my glass in the fridge, and she walks right over to the fridge, opens it up, she sees another one, she's like, "What's that?" So I sat her down and had to talk with her, like. And I'm like, the few times that we've been there, the couple times we've been to Jamaica, you know about ganja, and this plant, and then she just looks at me, she goes, "All right, cool," just walks away. I'm like, "Oh, that was easy."
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't so easy for me. When I first started, it was still they didn't know cowboy days, but as I got a little bit older and it was legal, I did once I got the card. Once I got my card and then I had some protection, I was a little bit more open and talked to them just because things were moving up at that point. I was taking on patients and probably starting to smell a little bit more frequently like cannabis from being in the garden.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, there's
it
not a
just made
chance it
sense
doesn't
to,
smell. I don't smell. You're not hiding
yeah,
that.
yeah. And I wasn't necessarily brought up to where it was hidden. I was always necessarily, told,
Same.
you guys could go outside, but, you guys go outside and play. But when you come back in and, the house is
Smells funny.
all clouded up and smells different, yeah, something's up. And, it didn't take long to figure out. And I knew my kids were going to be the same way. So I just kind of figured it was made more sense to be straightforward with them than to hide it. And then, them go ask questions or that aha moment in school when they're like, the school's
Some of
saying
their
something. Oh,
programs.
yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I see that every day. It made more sense to be, more forthright and honest, and especially once I had the card. You know what I mean? Now I'm, sit down and explain to them that it is medicine and, it does help and everything. And, but, what I found out from that is, and it wasn't necessarily from my children, it was from other growers' children, is they did the same thing is them same kids going to school and now on them same days while they're talking about cannabis and kind of in a bad way and they stand up and go, no, that's not true,
Well,
CBD,
actually,
hell. Yeah, sits here at school's the teacher. Well, wonder where you're getting all that information
hmm
from. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can bite you too. So you have to be like, yeah, I want you to know, but don't be the one
but
to lead class.
yeah, I'll let you know what's going on here, but this doesn't leave here. And as far as you're concerned, you're completely uneducated on the plant. Tell people, tell me more.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of
It
just
just
say let it happen naturally.
so with that being said, I mean, we're both sounds like we're both in a similar area here, and with things becoming more normal, would you at some point are you gonna? How do you feel about passing it along, inviting, as they get a little bit older, come on in here and let me show you where I spend my quality time sometimes,
It's a hard one for me. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to react. So that's my 11-year-old. I also have a 14-year-old. She's almost 15. So I haven't had the talk with her. Not a chance she doesn't realize it. Kids aren't stupid. Like, especially 15-year-old girls, they're paying attention to what dad does. This is prime time to know what dad's doing and, how dad acts and how dad treats people and, things of that nature. And like, uh, um, she leans towards the hippie type. I wonder when she's going to come home smelling or something. I do wonder that. She's also extremely smart. She's book smart. She's more interested probably in learning French than she is learning anything about growing a plant or even looking at plants. So I don't know. I would say she'll be very uninterested in it if I even presented it to her.
right on, right on. Well, you
How
never
about how
know.
about you?
You never know.
when when
Ugh.
when do you say here you go?
I've had, well, mine are much different. Mine are 25, 21, and 17, all fixing to turn up, here real soon. So things are a lot different. Uh, the oldest was 21 and swore up and down, all of them still, Well, hopefully the youngest one is sticking to her guns. Yeah, never, never, never. She better be never, by the way. But the oldest one, and it was like never, never, never. And then it was like she come to me one day and asked me if I wanted to go to the hash bash. Huh? Yeah. What are you going to fucking hash bash for? Well, me and the guy she'd been dating for the last year, that's where he first date. That's where he took her. Was a hash bash, and she'd been like smoking for like the past year. So that was the first like, and it was like, I went. She asked me to go. I mean, she really wanted me to go. I went, but it was like so surreal. And again, that awkward conversation on the way down. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be like flipping some seeds and hanging out with a pretty good sized crowd over here. So it's going to be a little awkward. You probably didn't know this about me, but yeah. So it was a little weird conversation on the way down. But excellent day. And ever since then, uh, it's been a crazy fun ride. I'd much rather, she doesn't drink as much. She doesn't drink with me at all because I don't drink. But that's our way to bond, when we have like some family time, Thanksgiving. Yeah, and she's actually super fun to smoke with. I don't have no problems at all with, you know, it's a good time. My middle daughter said no ways, no hows. And then again, as we get older, I often hear, "Oh yeah, we snagged one of roach here and there, and you didn't know." And I'm like, "Oh, great, great." So I should have not trusted you guys and kept everything extra, extra, extra put up then, huh? But yeah, then she was actually Lexi was in a car accident, and then you know had was dealing with PTSD terribly in the drugs, anti anxiety meds and whatnot that she was on were terrible, terrible. And she wanted off. She wanted out of the loop, and I wanted her off and out of the loop. In fact, I was against them from day one, and it got bad. It got really bad, and I went searching. I had seen how vets and stuff were dealing with it with cannabis, and I kind of went the minimalist route on it, and I went and got her some CBD, and yeah, and ended up helping her get off all that anxiety medicine, and she to this day is still off all that stuff. She doesn't, she barely uses. She keeps the pen of CBD for attacks when she feels them coming on, and occasionally she'll smoke some cannabis, but it's like in no way, shape, or form is it like a routine for her. I mean, it's maybe once every 3 days now. I mean, it's picked up in the last 8 months, and that's what like a bowl, a bowl. She'll like just take a couple puffs off, and again, she's probably watching or could be watching. She's Lexi, I love you, but there's a lot of times when she needs that puff. She needs that puff. We're being 21 right here in Michigan. Again, I'd much rather see that puff break than her going to get a 6 pack or
Right.
whatever. But yeah, when she takes that couple puffs, man, it knocks her the edge off, and she needs it from case time to time. So I don't feel too bad about it. I've seen in chat. I've talked about many a times about being behind in my work and whatnot. They're like, you need to get Lexus ass trimming, And as far as it goes, I'm like, I'm not gonna push it. If they're interested in the cultivation part of it,
I'll
I'd
let
be
you
happy
know.
to teach.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm with open arms. With open arms, I'll teach. But if I'm not gonna force it, my oldest now is her and the boy she's with. I gotta quit saying that. I remember when I was 26, I was ready to fight over that shit. Come here, let me show you, boy. You know, and I'm terrible about it still. So,
I dread the day
yeah.
a boy comes home.
Oh, it's.
I haven't had it yet. I haven't had to deal with that yet.
I feel for you. I feel for you. It is so tough. So tough. Yeah. Oh man, terrible. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. And I know you're probably much like myself. Them girls wrap you right around their finger as much as you want to.
Yeah, I mean,
We pretend
yeah.
we're the. Yeah, we're not. Uh, so Brittany was my oldest, and when we moved up here, in a close knit family, we've always been really close. They've never, went and stayed over friends a whole bunch. We've always, we're, real tight. And then the boy, the hash bash, not the current one, the hash bash kids, the bad seed. If anything, he was a gateway to getting his ass kicked. But yeah, me and him went some routes. There was times where that cat, I mean, father to father, father to father. Let me tell you. Let me see if you can feel me here. This cat, he was like trying my patience as it was. And there's like, this we're talking about my baby girl here. You know what I mean? All of them are my baby girls, but so they break up, and this cat calls me. It actually wanted like to have a fucking heart to heart with me. She's not taking my calls. Can you please help me? I'm missing her. And I'm like, you better grow the fuck up, man. We're talking about my daughter here. I mean, for one, stop crying, dude. I mean, he was literally crying. I was like, I can't even fucking take you serious right now, man. For real, from man to man, I can't even fucking take you serious right now. And you want me to help you with my daughter? I'm gonna side with my daughter if I like you, if she thinks you're an idiot or not. You fucking an idiot in my book. If she says you're an idiot, you fucking an idiot. I'm siding with my daughter. And it was like several times he tried that shit with me. Can you just come meet me? She's at work and she won't talk to me. I'm like, dude,
give it up. Walk away.
Yeah. So it came to the point where like we were moving up north, and that was where she'd be making her stand. No, I don't want to move up there. Me and him gonna get a place, and that was just heartbreaking. The boy now over me, and and she was Dad's girl. I mean, she went everywhere with me. I taught her to drive. I taught her how to grocery shop. I mean, everything. I taught her everything I knew. And then, it hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. And then, for her, there was times where like she couldn't come up because he had a bad day or something. I'm like, fuck that. I'm dead. There was times where, oh man, you can appreciate this one too. He was the first one try to sneak that overnight. He come over, and then they snuck into the bedroom, which had me pacing as it was. Not my motherfucking house, not today. Nope. I'm walking by like stomping down the hallway like every few minutes and shit. It's getting late. I'm sending text messages, time for him to go. A little while later. He ain't left yet. Time for him. Can't he just stay? It's getting late. Nope. Time for him to go. And I actually sent her a picture of a revolver with the fucking all cocked back. I'm like, time for him to go. Oh, you got to be like that. Yep.
It's time to
I'm gonna
go.
be like that. We can do this the nice way, or we can do this my way. It's time for him to go. Oh man, that cat almost dragged me from up north a couple of times. There was one time we were talking about button heads about a car repair. He didn't, never worked on a car. I knew exactly what it is. I had her all set up with a mechanic because I couldn't. It was
Oh,
one
and
of
he
them
was
things I
smarter
couldn't
than
drag my
you.
tools down. Oh yeah. Oh no, it ain't that. We're gonna. Oh yeah. Oh, and then hung up on me. And then oddly enough, I was on my way to the hash bash. And I'm screaming into the phone, I am coming down there right now. You better pick up this phone. I swear to God, you do not want to make me stop. I do not have the time to stop. Pick up this damn phone. Oh, yeah. Cherish these boyfriendless days right now, and hopefully you
That's
just get one that cowers. And I took this method on too. The only thing that went wrong with this is I switched school districts. Totally went in with crazy dad on first girl. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I knew she was gonna pay for it, but yeah, I totally crazy dad. The first year she went to high
that
school,
kid away
and
from
I knew
my
that I
daughter.
had three. I knew I had two more coming behind her. So all I had to do was set the legend
Set the
in
tone.
place, and the other two were gonna be, yeah. And it was working perfect until we come up north. Then it was like, oh shit, here we go again. But but at that time it was a little bit nicer school. Not so bad. But I still went in very, wraparounds, tank top, one day, one fucking shorts. I'm pretty well tatted up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen your ink. You'd look intimidating.
Yeah,
You'd be
I
intimidating.
I fucking did. My youngest told me the other day. She's like, you know, my friend seen you. She was talking about one of the boys too. Seen you the other day in Walmart and said you look like you could have been fresh out of prison. I'm like, yeah, go with that. I am. Tell him I just got out for
Tell
murder.
murder, and I'm willing to do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
I don't
play
I
into
don't
it.
I don't exactly look like the other dads sometimes. Like right now, my hair is cut. There's been times that it's been really crazy, big, long, and I don't look like the other dads at the private school that my kids go to. So like, show up. I got a few tattoos, but like all the boys there already have a little bit of a perception of me. It's kind of funny. My daughter tells me that they're my fan club, but I kind of use it as my intimidation factor towards these, boys.
I keep it. Keep it. I would keep it going. I would seriously keep it going.
So did
Yeah.
you
I'm
you
not,
grow
yeah.
up born and raised
Nice firm
Michigan?
handshake will get you a mile too. Part, yeah. Born and raised in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done a little bit of traveling, but nothing too extensive.
No.
Just, a couple trips to Florida, many drunken trips to Canada. Soon as hit 18 there,
Right over the winter.
Canada was legal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we had a one of the crew's sisters who was like, she was 21, so she was ahead of us. We were drinking either way,
Right.
but she had the gusto and the car to always want to drag us to Windsor, and which I guess I've kind of hit on this story before, but it's a fun one. and so I guess I'll tell it again.
Go for
She
it.
had her alternative. She had a reason she always carted us back and forth, and that's because she had it in for one of my buddies, and so she had no she even like when we weren't like we were stuck here on the weekends, she was still taking us up to take care of him, and she would like she would get him all liquored up, and she was like 6'4", 6'3". I mean, she was a good sized gal, and she would literally pick him up and throw him over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes, and like the great friends we are, would sell him out for liquor. She was buying it, It was like, no problem, carry him off. Shit, we still got a fifth and a half left. Joy.
See you later.
There was times, yeah. And it would happen all the time, man. She was more than willing to run us to Canada. As long is he going? Yeah, it would be times where we made him go
Let's
just for
go.
the ride.
Never just
Yeah.
Canada. No, never been
But
anywhere
it's
else.
funny.
Cannabis travel ever.
Well, the states in between there, between here and Florida, stopped off along the way on uh, up and down Arkansas. I've stopped in Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio. Been to Ohio a few times, Cedar Point, but nothing like Jamaica. No fun shit like that. you know, just the basic stuff.
Jamaica's great. I've been there twice now. Taking my kids, but so that's like taking our kids. We've taken our kids on every trip that we've gone on because that was one thing I never really did as a kid was go on like long trips. We would go on the camping trips as a kid, which I always enjoyed. That was always time to Michigan and time to Wisconsin. Now me and my wife frequently travel to, or we'll go and stay in New Buffalo for a weekend or something. New Buffalo is awesome. Michigan's awesome. I told Spartan growing a long time ago, like if I didn't live here, I would live there. Love that. But Jamaica with the kids is incredible. We've taken them to Mexico a few times now. I've been to Mexico 7 times. We Dominican Republic once and Canada once. And once we can travel again, I can't wait to. I haven't decided where I'm going to go yet, whether it would be Jamaica or Mexico again, but I can't wait to travel.
Man, I'm hoping that you can get your butts up here to one of these Michigan events, man. We know how to party. We have
The
some good
one time we
events,
were in
man.
New Buffalo, like three years ago, I think was the weekend of the Hash Bash, and so my wife is now more into edibles than anything. She's never smoked. She doesn't drink. Well, barely drinks, maybe once a year, but she's recently dived into edibles. So at that point, she wasn't a consumer at all. But now I might be able to get her to go. We were there, and I'm like, we were sitting in New Buffalo. I'm like, hey, we should go up to the Hash Bash. It's in Ann Arbor, right? Isn't it Ann Arbor?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it's at. Even more enticing to go because Ann Arbor's got medical mushrooms now. You can
Yeah,
slide
yeah,
in.
yeah. I almost microdosed for this, or I was going to eat a half a gram for this because it just to calm my nerves a little. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go. I don't want the mushroom to kick in and be all fucked up or some more fucked up than I usually am.
Oh, we would have been on the same page because I was ready. I was ready tonight to myself. We would have been right on sync there.
I
Yeah, now I'm
only I
actually
only eat
regretting
them
I
here
did it.
and there, but I kind of wait for him to call me to eat them too. I guess I know it sounds wild, but I didn't feel like it was going to be tonight was going to be a good calling. So I gotta grab a water.
Man, you can peek that chat here in a few minutes.
I haven't at all.
Holy cow, 60 still watching. That's pretty dang awesome.
Holy crap! It's already 1 o'clock. Oh, you know what? I got to plug this one in. Yeah, this is going good. This is fun. I know I've bounced all over the place and probably missed half the stories I've told, but you know,
Completely my fault, man. That's completely my fault, man. Yeah, I mean, you had to pretty much run your own episode there for about the first half hour, 45 minutes until I could get things somewhat under control on my end. So appreciate it. Greatly appreciated.
music
Something
guy.
told. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Everything. Anything and everything, to be honest, as far as music. I don't hold back on anything. I prefer some heavy metal, but I like some cannabis rap, you know, some old school rap,
I
country,
spent the
classical,
I spent the
anything.
99 2000 New Year's at the Silver Dome for Metallica and Ted Nugent, Seven Dust, and I think that was it. But yeah, 99, the world was supposed to end. So we decided to go to the Silver Dome. We drove up there for the weekend. It was snowing like crazy.
Oddly enough, that was almost the end for the Silver Dome, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was only a couple years
I think
later.
it wasn't too much after
Yeah,
that. Yeah, they put an end to that
put
bad
up
boy.
Ford Field.
Yeah, that was an awesome place, though. That place was huge.
It was big. Built in 79, I think. 78 or 79, I think. So it was all right. It had some years on it at that point. You could tell when we were there, you could tell it had some years. Seen a lot of Lions losses.
Yeah, I seen Pink Floyd there.
No kidding.
Actually, seen Pink. Yeah, pig golf floating around. It was one of the areas where they were still floating the pig around and all that.
Right on.
Good time, man. Yeah, I've seen some pretty good concerts. Uh, uh, Metallica, Megadeth, and White Zombie. I've seen them. Uh, Pantera, I've seen several times. I've seen Slayer last year. I've seen Bob Seger last year.
All right on.
Uh, a bunch of good people last year. I actually got out and, you know, started reliving life, I guess you could say, last year. And it was a pretty good run, man. It was nice. Concerts had changed quite a bit over the years. You know, again, the Slayer was way different than I. You would it would have been 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. That would have been a drunken fest, lots of fist fights. It was really, really tame. Still had the mosh pit, but a lot of cannabis being smoked. Same thing with Tool. I got to see Tool, and fucking,
It
I
will be a good
expected a
show.
lot of heavy. Oh, it was amazing. And then the funny story about Tool is my daughter, same cool ass daughter, Brittany, took me as a Father's Day present. It was right around 2 days after Father's Day, and spent the extra cheese to get pavilion tickets, which I was like, whatever. But yeah, cool. I mean, she got us right up there. I mean, right up there. But so we get there, and I, she's rolling with Dad that day. Like, where you want to go? I'm like, no, we can't. We can't smoke in there. So we actually rode the first two shows out on the hill, and we're walking around, and I had smuggled in, you know, cannons. I brought 20 of these, blunt sized joints, and I snuck in 2 foot longs, and so we're like, well, wandering around, and she's like, "What do you want?" We're looking for a place to smoke, and we kind of wandered around, and we just kind of see a couple people off the top of the hill smoking. And I'm like, let's go down there. So we fucking go down there. Next thing you know, I start out with like one of the blunt size joints and light it up, passing it back and forth. It didn't take too long to get a couple people interested in what we were doing. And so
Usually
yeah, we
doesn't.
start getting a circle going. Yeah, start getting a nice little circle going, and eventually, man, I fire up one of them foot longers, and then we actually have people like stopping. We had like a big circle going at that point. People stop and can I hit that? I'm like, hell yeah. People just wanting to get their pictures
Just get a
taken
picture
with the
with it,
joint
of
and
course.
shit. Yeah. So Tool comes on and we go down into the pavilion there and lights on. We're just again regrouping, waiting for people to fire up. And I could see some people cross the way, smoke going up, but I'm still lights are still on. I'm like, nah, you know. So the Tool comes on, start rocking out, and I feel a little braver at this time. I pull one out, light it up. I'm sitting there just smoking it, and go to pass it around. People in front of me gladly take it. We go smoking it. It was funny too because there's a little side note on this cat in front of me who was hilarious. Every time I hit the joint, the wind would take it right over my shoulder and just waft it into this guy's face. And you can see he starts like looking back and smiling. And he's actually starting to like get antsy in his seat. And I'm like, so I like just like
Trying to
throw
figure out
this
what he can
cannon
ask.
over his shoulder. Like, you want to hit that? You want to hit that, man? He just grinning from ear to ear. He's like, no, I, I would love to. I would. I used to back in the day. And he's kind of like looking at the date. Oh, I can't. I'm like, all right. But you can see he was just still loving it. But the people next to him been sitting there fucking taking it. We're smoking. And then at some point, this cat in front of me pulls out like this. It looked like a normal joint. And I grab it. I'm like, I hit it naively. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, it's a cigarette, man. I'm like, why are you fucking passing a cigarette
A
for?
cigarette?
Yeah. But here's the funny thing about that. And I seen this happen, not just this instant, but late all through the show. Is I see the flashlight come over my shoulder and it's like beaming through like the my area, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm done. I'm done. They're fucking gonna escort my ass out of here. Then the next thing I know, they just lock down, and it's like over my shoulder, and it's the guy in front of me smoking the fucking cigarette. And they fucking rush in and fucking escort that guy out for smoking a cigarette. And I've still got a joint in my hand as they're
You're
pulling
like,
him
huh?
down the aisle. I'm still just sitting there chiefing on this thing, and they're like, yeah, like he just lit off something, or they totally treated him like a criminal. And I seen the same thing going on all night long. They were pulling people out for tobacco like criminals, but people sitting there smoking joints, they left alone.
Let him
And
go.
yeah, it was the craziest concert experience I had ever seen. But yeah, it was very surreal. I never thought I'd be a part of something like that, but it was really cool.
Man, like
Excellent
I
concert.
remember
Excellent
walking
concert.
through the mall when I was a kid. You used to be able to smoke cigarettes in the mall. Like when I was young. Now you can't smoke cigarettes anywhere.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, they were actually giving Smiley fucking shit the other night. He actually fired up a cigarette. Everybody was on the panel was like, "Really?" They're not even in the room or being infected by the smoke, and everybody was like, "Really? You're gonna smoke that right here?" Huh?
I smoked for a long time. I smoked for like 10 years, maybe, and then probably like another 5, smoked when I drank or whatever. And now I'm finally at a point to where I couldn't tell you the last cigarette I had. Couldn't tell you when it was. Like that's a pretty good achievement.
Yeah. They were tough to give up too. I'm just a smoker when I drank too. Same thing. They pretty much go hand in hand. I actually started chewing. That was my demon. I started chewing at like 13. And chewed till 26, all the way up to 26, and almost nonstop up to that point. It was funny because I was listening to Operation Grow today, and they were talking about some fermented cannabis. They had,
Yeah,
people
his
had been
cob,
working on that.
that cob.
Yeah, and he
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
dipping it. He was dipping
Mm-hmm.
it, and I was like, "Oh, great! Here we go. Another, way to suck me back into, chewing again. Now I'm gonna start dipping cannabis." But they were talking about, swallowing it. Do you swallow it? He was like, "Heck yeah!" He's like, "Nobody, ever chewed. Nobody ever I knew. GMF says I knew a girl that swallowed it. But I swallowed. I started chewing. I swallowed it all day when I was in school. It just
I
became
could.
that big of a habit to where I wasn't even
Oh,
spitting the chew anymore.
oh. I tried. I think I've tried chew 3 times in my life, and 3 times in my life I did not enjoy it one bit. But like on the
It's
GM
tough. It was
on GMF's cob thing, I got a buddy of mine actually he decarbs flour and holds it like a chew. Like he doesn't like smoking it. He doesn't make edibles or anything, but he'll just decarb raw flour and just keep it kind of in his chew. So I don't know. Obviously, it's decarb. It's gonna work. It's just the same as an edible at that point. I'm curious to know how powerful that cob is because he seemed like he was getting a little buzzed up in the show today.
all right, right, yeah, yeah. It was enough to where it was raising my eyebrow. It sure was. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh great, here we go, because I could just see myself from getting used to having something in there all the time again and switching
Like a
over to
big old thing of beech nut
reverting
in
back
there.
a little bit. Kodiak was my demon.
Kodiak.
Years and years of Kodiak. Oh, yeah. Every pair of
I don't know
pants
how you
I
could swallow
owned
that.
had that ring in it. Oh, it, it just became an everyday thing. I mean, it started in school. The habit be started in school.
Right, you got to hide it.
I'd spit whenever I can. Then when I got to school, I started swallowing it, and it just became. I got so used to it, it just spitting just was only if I could, and if it got bad. Usually the first couple, you know what I mean, after you put one in. But as it got weaker and weaker, I just started swallowing it. Yeah, I actually got duped. It was a twofer. To be honest with you, I gave up drinking for my first child, Brittany, to help pay for diapers and everything, which ended up perfect. Diapers
Probably
no
helps.
problem, man. Good switch.
Right.
And then when Lexi was born, I was being coached into giving up the chew. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna, But it was also like coached, you know, you quit chewing, you know. I started kissing because she quit tongue kissing me because I always fucking I always had a chew in. She'd find herself midway through a nice makeout session and be like, "Are you chewing?" Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Snags a little
Son
out
of
of
a
there.
bitch. So she cut it off there for the longest time, and I'm like missing it. And she's like, "Well, you better quit chewing." And then I quit chewing, and she never fucking picked up the habit again. It was an unfair trade. It was an unfair trade. Although it did save me lots of money. It was one of them things too, man. At that point, chew it went from like 350 a can. It jumped right up to like 550. It was going. It looked like it was gonna, just skyrocket. You know,
That's the
way
crazy
past
part about
cigarettes.
cigarettes to me. Like
And
people
now,
make their own choices, and you're gonna smoke cigarettes, but like $10 a pack around me. I had a flood in my basement, so I had my buddy taping my drywall, retaping my drywall for me, and he's like on my way home, he's like, "Hey, can you stop and get me a pack of smokes?" $9.90 for a pack of Marlboro Lights. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. I don't think I could afford to smoke cigarettes if I still smoke cigarettes.
it's crazy. Well, in the case of chew, I haven't bought. I haven't looked in a minute. But the last time I looked was like a year or so ago. It was like right at where I quit chewing. It never, it just like froze in time. So I could have probably sustained chewing, you know what I mean? That it never went. In fact, it was like cheaper these days a little bit. That must be because just not a lot of people are chewing
Yeah,
tobacco these days. I don't know,
the
but
demand went
I
down.
don't know.
I think the cigarettes were $1.72 at Walmart when I started smoking, and that was in like 1996. $1.72 a pack. Could get a carton for under $25.
Oh man, they're like what, 60, $70 a carton now? I can't even.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
So,
Couldn't imagine. Oh, so
that's quite a cannabis habit. That's a nice little cannabis habit right there.
right. At least you can carry a buzz for a couple hours.
Right on. Right
About 1:30, so I think I'm gonna try and go to bed. Is that all right?
That's fair. Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Then I always forget to tell people that in the invitation. I think that's it's deterred a few guests. I think uh, Fumador and even Ross Bob when we were in when I threw out that invitation there, he was like, "Man, it's a hell of a long show, man." Well, you don't. It is, but you don't have to go the distance. You know what I mean? It's show's gonna go on one way or another, you know. But it is what it is. But you had to do at least this much, my friend, to get the offer to be a part of the rabbit holes. So I don't know if you know that much about the show, but that's pretty much the deal. Nobody's allowed into the rabbit holes unless they've come on and done
Oh, unless you've
the
done that.
spotlight episode.
All right, right
And the
on, right
Zoom
on.
number is always, yeah. I don't know if it's like a pre-screening or what how that works, but it just became the rule. It just became the rule.
Obligated.
But that is the only one rule for the rabbit hole, pretty much. Conversation, what we do in the rabbit hole, pretty much no rules once you're in. But you have to, do this. So keep this the Zoom invitation somewhere handy. And anytime that you do see a rabbit hole, you wake up in the morning and we're still fucking going, and you want to fucking jump on and call us idiots or jump in on the conversation or whatever, you're welcome. You've got the numbers. All you need to do is fucking click the thing, and you're more than welcome to jump in at any point. So it's an open invitation. I greatly appreciate you coming on and being such a sport, such a damn sport. I know. Again, if it would have been on the other end, I would have been very frustrated. Midway through, somebody chiming in way late into a sentence, just tuning out at one point. I mean, how much worse could it have gotten on my head? but you were a total trooper about it all. So hats off to you. Huge shout out to you for
One
that.
of these days I'll finish like one of the stories I told tonight. You know, I don't think I ever ended anything. Like I guess that's part of my problem. Like I could sit here and just jump around and talk for days of just about bullshit just because I just feel like bullshitting, I guess. You know, and it's just fun. But hey, before I go, why don't we scroll back and chat for a little bit? 'Cause I haven't paid attention to chat at all. And I mean I've looked down a few times. I don't know, see who's in or something, I guess, really quick before I go. I don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah, do give them shout outs. I definitely encourage that.
Perp some obviously
I
is
still
in
got to
here.
get my
Ned
sound.
Denver. What's that?
I still got to get my sound bite from you too before you go. After your shout outs.
Oh yeah, no, I just trying to roll through and see if we missed any like questions or anything. I think we might have missed a few. I don't know. Tijuana, yeah, let's go Tijuana. I'm in. Oh, man. Yeah, Perp. Hey, man, thanks for reaching out to Eagle. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, one of these days I'll finish some stories. Talk about growing more, I guess.
It's
Talk
a
about my setup more. I guess I don't like talking about me
genius
much. I
way to get a
guess.
second invitation for a spotlight. Genius way to get invited back for another spotlight. Holy cow,
Right
still
on, everybody.
52 watching.
So,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's once again, thanks. Like this is great. This was fun. I haven't stayed up this late in a long time either, so this was probably much needed just to stay out for a little while. Stay up.
Well, hopefully, like I said, well, it sounds like you're a perfect candidate for hitting us on the morning rabbit hole then,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm definitely gonna pop back or I'll pop in here and there. So I am gonna go to bed. My wife can
What?
probably hear me down there. I'm sure I'm probably loud enough.
One, just the
Oh yeah,
sound
what do
bite
we got to
before
do?
you
What
go.
do I got to do?
All right, it's like pretty much the old school radio sound bite. When they had their artists on. Basically, what I'm looking for is, hey, this is the Cannacrat. I know I just fucked that up. Sorry. That's where you get to do it. But I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 216. You can add a little bit onto it. You can do it whatever. But it's basically, the advertisement or will be the advertisement for your show.
Ready?
I'm ready whenever you are. Yes, sir.
This is the Cannacrat, and I'm on episode of 216 of fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, and I highly recommend you tune in.
Perfect. Thank you. I can't, yeah, no, perfect, man. Thank you very much, man. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for your time, man. I greatly appreciate you staying up to hang out and overall accepting the invitation. Because, like I tell most everybody else, it gave us another opportunity to hang out tonight as a community. You know what I mean? But it helps buy us, every guest helps buy us one more night to do this. So I can't thank you enough,
Definitely.
man. We greatly appreciate it.
I love talking about the plant again. Thank you for the invite again. Thanks for Purple Thumb for reaching out. Um, Everybody in chat, seriously, thanks for hanging out and like listening to me bullshit for a long time. So yeah, shout out, dude. I'll do it again for sure. I'm definitely gonna, you'll if you don't see me in the pop in on the lives, you'll definitely see me in chat. So I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, you as well, dude.
Any shout outs before you go? Any
Oh,
last
fuck
minute,
yeah.
Irie?
Yeah. Obviously, Rasta Jeff, Irie Genetics, Mexi Weed, fucking can't wait. I've got those beans going, dude. Fucking salute, hombre. The whole Embracing Organics crew, Durban Dan, fucking Tanasi, fucking Rasta Bob. Yeah, you got to get Rasta Bob on, obviously. Perp Thumb getting in here, fucking. Oh, man. I'm going to forget everybody now. Tyler, Family Tree Seeds, fucking Mr. B Press. I love my press. Anybody want to go fucking check out MrBpress.com and check out my press? Check out my videos, I guess. I do have a YouTube channel and a Instagram at the Cannacrat on YouTube. I don't have too many video ups. Maybe I'll get some more up soon. So yeah, fucking shout out to Eagle fucking Gardens, man. Talking shit with fucking Eagle, episode 216. Maybe that's a better soundbite. You're muted. I thought it was something going on with my shit.
Fuck no. No.
I'm like, what's going on
me.
here?
Perfect way to end this episode. I might as well just fucking.
It didn't come up that you were muted till like right at the last second there. So that's I was checking my shit. I'm like, what's going on?
Yep. Oh man, this has been a fucking stumble through episode 2, man. I am you've been very gracious, by the way. Very gracious for holding it down. Man. I feel like I just owe you a redo all in all.
This is like how my bros go. So this was fucking perfect. Like some of it just goes, some of it just flowed and went perfect. Other times it was just like, what the fuck just happened? So
right on. Well, might as well call it and restart this thing. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, put those numbers up so you can come back, hopefully on a better freaking internet day. Hopefully I'm on par the next time you come back, that's for sure. And thanks again.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. I appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. The Cannacrat. What an episode. What a great guy for holding it down through the stumbles. So many stumbles for this episode. Internet just giving me so many woes. Me just being silly. All in all, a great Saturday. Hopefully you guys are going to tune in and transfer over to the rabbit hole and join me there for the wee hours of the night. If not, I totally understand. I'm very grateful for the time that you have given me and very appreciative of it. For those of you who are not going to transfer over, please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. I couldn't believe in anything more heartedly than that. But for those of you who are going to transfer over, please fill up them trays, the dabs, your dab rigs, get it all ready. We'll be back in a few for the rabbit hole 216.5.